Okay, so these are the reasons why I feel everyone should dance. So many people have a fear of dancing in front of groups. They think that they're silly looking or that they just don't know how to dance. That's not the case. Anyone can dance. It depends on what style you want to choose, and in all honesty, it can be really good for your body. So it's more than just a sport. It's a great impact on your body, and it actually benefits your brain as well. So, according to the Fred Astaire Dance Studio, they encourage dancing because of the effects that it has on the body, no matter what age that you are. So, the Health Benefits channel has a list of things that actually, on what gets improved when you're dancing. So, increasing strength is one of them. So, just by being active, you can prevent diabetes, you can prevent having high blood pressures, and the risk of heart attack gets lowered. You also strengthen smaller supportive muscles in this system, in your skeletal system, and your tendons, more so than any other sport out there. And according to Nick Smeton, he's the principal of the University of Brighton, he says dance is a movement in all directions. So memory is another form that can get improved while you're in dance. So the more steps in the routine, and the more routines that you learn, kind of boost your memory. So some of the functions are your rational, your muscle, and your emotional. Memory is also improved, which these can also reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. Flexibility and balance is also improved by the range of motion, and with that, it's just easier to flow through the steps when you have a better range of motion, and there's less injuries that can happen to your body when you stretch more beforehand. Cardiovascular exercises, so with dance, you're constantly moving, so this improves your stamina, and you no longer have the feeling of being short of breath, so in that aspect, it improves your lungs and improves your heart rate as well because you're constantly moving. It also reduces your stress. So having fun with friends, dancing to music that you enjoy can all lead to being less depressed as well. So it's easier to express yourself in the movements of dance than it is to actually express how you feel to somebody. So all of these functions here can lower your stress levels. And also, it's a good weight loss system. So you can compare dance to jogging or cycling or even swimming because of, again, that constant movement that you're doing with your body. And with that being said, just like those other sports that I mentioned, those increase your heart rate just like dance does, so your heart rate's always up. And also, it can tone your muscles. So because you're doing different motions repeatedly, your legs are doing different motions repeatedly, this can actually tone your muscles and trigger specific muscle groups at a single time. So not only do all those physical aspects improve your overall well-being with dance, but so does your brain. Your brain actually gets a little boost from this as well. So there's these things in your brain. They're called white matter, and they're compared to like a connective tissue. And these connective tissues can break down over time, and this can lead to memory loss. So even as an adult with these tissues being diminished, you can improve them through dance as well. So there's a couple studies that I found. One, Time Magazine reported this study. It was by the Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience, conducted by a professor from the university, Colorado State University, sorry. So the first study, she looked at adults that were just walking and stretching compared to adults that were dancing. And the adults that were dancing, and these groups were both doing this 3 times a week, she saw improvements with memory from the adults that were dancing compared to the ones that were just walking and stretching. Another study saw that people that were dancing only 1 time a week also had improved cognitive thoughts and improved muscle memory as well. So your self-esteem kind of goes along with how your brain function works. So you have improvements when you meet new people at these classes. It also helps you meet new people outside of the class, because the more you're dancing and getting to know these people that are in your class, you're doing the same thing, get more comfortable with them, you can take those same aspects out into the real world. This also gives you good self-discipline, good motivation, because when dancers have a goal, and the goal is to have a routine to show their friends, families, or audiences, they have that self-discipline to try and get that goal done, and the motivation to get that goal done. And once that goal is reached, they feel really good about themselves, and then they continue to repeat and repeat that. But one thing I always found very interesting is, why don't dancers get dizzy when they do all of those spins? So there is a fluid that is in your ear. After you're done spinning, the fluid will keep moving to make you feel that you are still spinning when you're not. And there's these tiny little hairs in these chambers that feel that movement, that is telling your brain that you're still moving. So with dancers, because of all the years of training that they have, they're used to ignoring that sensation in a sense. So there's a link between the ears and the cerebellum and the fluid in the chamber. So the more that they spin, they're just so used to that spinning motion that when they stop, they just ignore it. So that's how they don't get dizzy. So we go back to memorization, because memory, like I said earlier, is a really good impact on your body. So there's a process called marking, and this was in a study, the cognitive benefits of movement reduction, evidence from dance marking. So like I said, marking is just a dancer going through the motions of the dance without actually doing the dance. So they'll do it very slowly and over to make sure they understand what the next step is. And it requires a lot of concentration. So they go over the routine without actually doing the routine. So they'll just kind of do hand gestures while they're sitting or in a supermarket. They'll just kind of like move their hands around the way they see that their body is going to move. And if they're going to spin, they'll just like move their hand around in a spinning motion to represent a spin. So with all that being said, how do you even start? Like, where would you go to learn how to do some dance? Well, if you're a parent and you think that all of these aspects are really good for your children, then you can go to any dance studio and enroll them into some classes. These classes can help children form some discipline. It can give them a good structure to have a healthy lifestyle, to be more active in their life and do more within their life. But as an adult that has never danced before, you can do the same types of things. You can go to any dance studio to see if they have adult classes. If they don't, you can find places that have line dancing. Sometimes local fitness clubs will have special classes for dancing, since they've noticed that dancing really is a really good workout for the body. So the types of styles of dance really depends on the style that you're looking for. What do you want out of your exercise? What do you want to learn? And then that's how you would start your search on what kind of dance you want to proceed in. So the styles of dance are ballet, which is great for strength, ballroom, which is great if you're just looking to dance with a partner, hip hop is fast-paced, lots of movement, jazz, lots of high kicking, lots of jumping, and then there's tap, if you just want to learn how to keep a beat or even have a good timing. So with all that being said, dance is great for the body. Great way to meet new people, boosts memory skills, and it's a great time to have with friends overall.